listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana, founders of the Life Coach Method. Each one of our uplifting and deep dive episodes is geared to help you tackle the things that hold you back from having the most magnificent life you deserve. Sit back, relax, and prepare to be coached.
Welcome to Unpause Your Life, guys, with Dr. Cali Estes. And my guest today is Mss Francois, coming from Trinidad and Tobago. And her specialty is working specifically with relationships, not getting you a man or finding you a man, but how to keep your man. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you to Unpause Your Life. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got into that.
Hi. So as she said, my name is Mss Francois. Just make sure you all spell that correctly. It's MSS, which stands for multi-talented and super sexy. I am originally from Trinidad and Tobago, hence my beautiful accent. And how I got into some of the stuff that I'm doing. So basically, I had a lot of bad relationships. I'm going to be honest. They suck, right? So after a while, I found myself going into relationship and I wasn't healing. So I was bringing my baggages, my purse, duffel bags, everything to the new relationships. And I realized I needed to pause. So I have a TV show called the Mss Francois Show, which uses humor to help others with their dysfunctional relationships. And that's all of us. All our relationship is dysfunctional in some way, shape, or form. So I basically am responsible I have this group called the Striving Goddesses, where I help other women exploring new relationships or healing from broken relationships, help them to rediscover their self-identity and confidently transition to the next chapter of their life. So that's basically what I do in a nutshell.
That's awesome. That's much needed because I think there's a lot of people out there in the dating side of things, help you find a man, help you find a relationship, but very few people actually working with the issues within a relationship, not necessarily therapy, but what do you do when this arises or what do you do when that arises? And nobody's using humor, which is awesome. So
make me special. So
you are special.
So that's the thing that I found. Like I said, it's a lot of life experiences because sometimes people like to tell you how to do stuff and they have not even had any of these experiences. It's really nice to write a book, but it's good when you have people in a circle, people you talk to, and you yourself experience certain things. So even with my show, when I first started my show, I never thought of other people. It was me trying to heal at the same time. So I realized instead of me eating away my problems, crying all the days, not bathing, I started to look at different things that happened, and some of them actually was kind of funny. And many of us look back at relationships and we find the simplest thing funny, like, oh my God, he wasn't even that cute. Why was I stressing? Right? But when you was in the moment, you was all lovey-dovey, right? So with my show, I have like different experts that come on. It could be coaches, it could be regular people just talking about what they experience. Sometimes one of my favorite set of episodes is when I have multiple people, like 3 different men or women, and we're asking them what do they think men want from different perspectives. But it's fun. I make it fun. And again, having humor in anything, it produces like endorphins. It's like a painkiller. It's produces you could connect more. People listen more. People receive more. It's so much things that come with laughter that people are not realizing. So I find that's the best way to transfer some information.
It also takes your defenses down when you come in with humor. It's like you break the ice and you feel more comfortable talking about hot button topics or getting to the root cause of something when you feel comfortable. And if you come in and you don't feel comfortable, you don't want to talk about it. And they say, how do you feel? I feel fine. But if you break the ice and it's fun and it's funny, it's like, well, I don't feel fine. Here's what's going on, right? And it's so much
and it's
easier.
Just like having some fun conversations, and mixing it up a bit. Not all the time you want to sit there and be like, well, he did this. And I always tell people when they talk in their issues with relationship with your friends, if you notice, you keep telling like 10 different people the same issues and you're not even healing from it. And then you have the friends that's receiving the information, just adding fuel to the fire. And that's not what it's cute in the beginning, but 6, 7, 8, 10 months, 2 years later, you're like, and he did me this. And I feel like people are not focusing on the healing process. They're just, they can be angry. I've known people who've been married for how many years, and they're like, well, when he was this, he cheated on me. Then it's like, what?
Yep. It's funny because I lost my husband 2 years ago. He passed away, and I started dating, and I have a bad habit of picking the red flag guys. So my friend, who's a psychologist, sent me this box, and it was 20 red flags. And I was traveling all around the country, and she said, every time you see a hot guy, just hold up the red flag. So I started videoing myself, and here I am, and I'm sending it to her, and she says, girl, they all look the same. I said, what do you mean? She goes, they're all tattooed, they're all convicted felons. You have a type. I went, oh, I do have a type. And she goes, and they're all red flags. And it took her to see that because I was like, I don't see that.
Wow.
And I would get into these relationships
Of
and go, what's
course.
wrong with
I
me?
love that though. I love that.
Yeah, so it was
But
fun.
a
So it
lot of
was,
times, well, a lot of times with the red flag, I realize we know we have that feeling in there, right? They say our
mm,
stomach is our second brain, but our brain tells us, yet we make up these whole excuses. Well, he's a little different, and maybe this and maybe that, until we're in there, and then it takes longer to even walk away.
oh yeah,
But that red flag is
absolutely.
really awesome.
I was standing on the pier. I don't know if you know California, but I'm on the pier in Manhattan Beach, and I'm looking around. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of nice, good-looking men. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna do the flag thing. So I did the flag thing, and I'm sending him to her, and she's going, no, 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 maybe, no. I'm like, oh, all those no's. And she goes,
And we
they're
all
all the
got a type.
same.
But we do
Yes,
got a type. Like we all admit, and I tell people it's okay to have a type, but it's also okay to maybe not always date your type, or at least be open enough. Have a conversation, have coffee, have tea, have a light drink. Keep it, but everyone is like, oh, that's not my type. Yeah, but maybe you could be missing your blessing, looking for
that's
your type,
true.
who's a convicted felon, right?
That's true. Exactly. So what? Give my listeners one piece of advice. If they're in a relationship and they're struggling to communicate with their partner, what can they do better? What can they do different?
Okay, well, I always say I'm not a relationship coach because I always say I just deal with healing. But overall, when it comes to any type of relationship, it's the number one thing that I think people mess up a lot is the listening part, right? A lot of times we don't listen. We're ready to defend. We're ready to solve the issue. No one is listening to exactly what you're saying. And if someone listens, one of the best way to know that you yourself is listening, repeat what the person is saying in a form of clarifying. So you're saying you feel this way because when this happens, also, and that's the person who is listening. Also, when you are talking to someone, you shouldn't, when we tend to talk to people, we talk as we immediately blaming the person. I think you should speak more in a reference of what you experience, not you make me feel and this is your fault. More be like, when this happens, my experience is A, B, and C. Instead of you always leave this here and because of you I'm angry. It's we always have a conversation like we're in a fight. And we shouldn't be fighting. We should be listening and listening to understand, listening to clarify before we go to the next level and try to solve the issue.
Awesome. That's great advice because a lot of people, we don't listen to hear, we listen to respond. So we already have an
Yeah, it's
answer before we hear the question, and then the person doesn't feel heard a lot of times.
right. And then it just, everything just goes down from there.
Yep.
I know I'm pretty smart.
You are. This is awesome. It's so interesting because I think so many people go to therapy to fix themselves, and therapy isn't fun. I've been a therapist for 33 years. It's not fun. It's dirty and it's crying, and then they leave and they're not happy, and they come back and it's still not happy. But using humor and to get to some of these things, it makes life so much simpler and so much more fun. So, give me an example of your best client or who is your ideal client to work with.
Okay, so first of all, woman, because I like to make sure I'm in my niche of things, right? And so this is my thing. So I don't work with couples. I normally do one-on-one. I have to do with women because I say at the end of the day, instead of we always blaming the other party, certain things we need to take responsibility for because at the end of the day, it's always two people in the situation, right? So
Hmm.
my person is definitely ideally a female, and I work with people anywhere from like 25 into their 40s, like the relationship time. By the time you in your late 40s, you're kind of slowing down a lot. So those are the people I tend to work for. And my ideal client is someone, honestly, just come. This is the people that I like. Two main people I work with is people healing, but at the same time, the ones that are ready or feel that they're ready to go out dating. They already healed, but they're excited about the new challenges, the new adventure. And I think even with that excitement, I kind of have to reel them back in, because you really have to ask yourself, are you seriously ready? It sounds really nice. Getting free food and dinners and flowers is really cute. Are you really ready? And why do you think you're ready? So I even have something where I call "Are you ready to date?" which is like 10 introspective questions to like ask yourself. Because sometimes, even if why are you ready to date? What are you dating for? Is it for companionship? Maybe you're just horny. I don't know. But it's like finding out the real reason behind whatever you're doing. So when you're going, you'll even find those red flags even faster. Because if he said, "Oh, I'm ready for a good time," and you're like, "No, I'm ready for something, a committed relationship," don't stay in there saying, "Well, I'm gonna wear him down. Maybe once he discover how amazing I am, he's gonna be ready too." So it's just knowing yourself and figuring out, are you ready to date?
Awesome. That's great. And I think that's needed because I was just thinking back to when I was dating, I wasn't getting the flowers and the free dinners. I was getting the guys who were like, "Well, I don't have my wallet." I had that. I had the let's do cocaine in the bathroom. And I'm like, "You're 54 years old. I am not doing cocaine with you in the bathroom. Like, you know what I do for a living? I'm an addictions coach, for God's sakes." Like, I was
You're like,
getting
"No, I don't do it in the bathroom. I do it in the house, in the living room."
I I I have two friends that are single and they are just like it's like a war zone out there. And I'm going to send them both to you because I don't think they're clear on what they're looking for. So they're just
Right.
accepting every guy that comes by. Okay, I'll go with that one. I'll go with
Yeah,
this
and
one.
see, that's the thing. And that's the thing. Technically, from what I hear, they're not ready to date, because sometimes you might, when you start a date out of desperation or loneliness, that's the worst, because you take in any and anything. That's
Yeah.
scary. And a lot of people, because I'm myself is single, right? For a majority that was on purpose, because again, I needed some time to reevaluate certain things, right? But what I do realize, and I realize this with people that I attract, we are who we attract. You exude certain things. I believe it's just putting yourself, if you love doing certain things, put yourself in those places and just continue just being you. Because I have been attracting guys, and each guy I meet, I'm glad to say, has been better than the next. So I can't wait to see if it's Trevor Noah I'm going to be with, because that's my ideal.
Yeah.
but but I'm a lot more open. I even doing all these things that I do now. Much more even healing for me, and even brings me more clarity in some of the stuff that I want for myself. And I said, like even talking to people, I can relate, because I am single at this present time. So I know what I'm looking for. As soon as he don't even have to put, I don't even have to see the whole red flag. I just have to see the stem and I'm running. Before I used to be like, maybe, I think. No, even on dating apps, people say exactly what it is they want. We just don't listen.
Yeah, that's true. That is 100% true. And then we even overlook certain things. They may lie about their
Oh,
age or the kids they have or the job they have. We're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And then we get down that rabbit hole, 5 months, 6 months. It's like, oh, wait, this is a big deal because this was on my
yes.
list of what I wanted, but the person didn't show up and I just overlooked it and figured, oh, they'll figure it out. Well, they didn't figure it out. And now I'm in
Right.
this situation. So that
And
makes a lot of sense.
And even with that, what I do notice, you're getting older, and I like to mix age and experience, because sometimes I have this thing, right? They say age is just a number. I say it's not just a number, because it hopefully when we learn certain things, we do better with new things that we learn. Some people do, right? But as you get older, especially with men most of the time already know what they want. There's no
Mhm.
confusion. Women still, oh no, we emotional. I don't know. Oh my God, whatever. Oh, I see the picket fence, and you know the guy for like 24 hours, right? But it
It's
is,
true.
we still have that little dolly house kind of
Yep.
thing. So my thing is, if men truly know, okay, I'm definitely gonna hit this and sleep with this, And sometimes this is somebody I could take home to my parents. They know. So it's, to me, a lot of times as a woman need to be able to say and walk away when it's necessary, because the men, they know. So women, you need to know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we are out of time, but thank you for coming on, and tell my listeners how they can find you and get in touch for your services or see your show. How do they reach you?
So I make things very easy for you guys. You can just go to my website. That's Mss Francois. And I'm sure she's going to put everything down there for you. I have some great, I have many different courses which deal with different levels of where people might be in relationships, exploring yourself emotionally. I have experts on there, from psychologists to coaches, that could, help you through the process, because everybody is in a different part of the grieving process. So we have something for everyone. So check out my website and all social media, Mss Francois.
And I'll put all that up for the listeners, so you'll be able to click it and go right to her website, see everything she's got, her offerings, and reach out. And this is Dr. Cali Estes with Mss Francois. Thank you for coming on and being such a great guest. You can find us at unpauseyourlife.com.
Thank you for listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana. Head over to www.thelifecoachmethod.com to learn more about coaching yourself and how to become a master coach.